wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, last night, the Warriors beat the Timberwolves 99-88, but Steph Curry got injured. He had, I believe, a hamstring strain, so they're not sure if he's going to be able to play in Game 2. And last night, also, the Pacers beat the Cavaliers 120-119. What a game! The Pacers lead the series 2-0. Now, the Celtics and Knicks play tonight, and the Nuggets and OKC play tonight. What up, Morgan?
Hey, y'all. Hey, good morning. How y'all
Them
feeling?
locks, girl. He called them dreads. Tell him call them locks,
Sorry.
not dreads.
Locks. Yeah, I was trying to put it in a ponytail or bun. I don't know. It's just doing what it wants to do. But let's get into front page news. All right, so the newly elected Canadian Prime Minister is telling President Trump his country is not for sale. So while in the Oval Office yesterday with Prime Minister Mark Carney, Trump floated the idea again that Canada could become the 51st state. Now, he said it would lead to lower taxes and a free military for the Canadian people. And Carney said no sale, but he added that the real deal is in the partnership with the U.S., saying that things are always better when we work together. Let's take a listen to their exchange.
I mean, I believe it would be a massive tax cut for the Canadian citizens. You get free military, you get tremendous medical cares and other things. There would be a lot of advantages.
Having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
So Trump says the U.S. and Canada joined without a border looks great on a map. Also, during that meeting, President Trump couldn't help but mention President Obama. He talked about President Obama's presidential center that is being built in Chicago. Let's take a listen to those comments.
President Obama, and if he wanted help, I'd give him help because I'm a really good builder and I build on time, on budget. He's building his library in Chicago. It's a disaster. And he said something to the effect, I only want DEI, I only want woke. He wants woke people to build it. Well, he got woke people and they have massive cost overruns. The job is stopped. I don't know. It's a disaster.
I don't think President Obama said that. I haven't heard. I don't know that for sure, but that don't sound like something he would say.
No, but I will say that the Obama Foundation did respond to President Trump's comment saying we can't wait to open our doors to the Obama Presidential Center next spring. In addition to a world-class museum, the 19.3-acre campus will feature a gymnasium, a fruit and vegetable garden, a branch of the Chicago Public Library, a playground, and so much more. Now, the initial budget on that project was about $450 million. However, in 2022, the project was estimated to be increased to about $830 million. So,
but did President Obama say he only wants DEI working on it and he only wants woke people working on it? That doesn't even sound like something a person would say.
No, but he definitely was, he's going to push forward and want to have, a diverse people working on those projects, of course. So there's that. But as far as just only wanting woke and only wanting DEI, come on now,
Who talks like that? It's also interesting that Trump is pushing so hard to want a liberal country like Canada to be a part of America. But I guess if you plan for elections in the future not to be free and fair, you don't care who joins.
I was confused how he said, we'll help you with your military. Canada already has a strong military. We'll help you with your health care. I think Canada already has a great health care system. So I was thinking, what are you offering?
It's true.
It didn't make sense.
True. Yeah. All right. Well, that's your front page news for 6 a.m. At 7. We will continue the conversation about Real ID. There's an update from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
All right, we'll get into all that next hour. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get back in some front page news. Now, quickly, NBA playoffs. The Warriors won last night, 99-88. Steph Curry did get injured. He had a hamstring strain, so they don't know if he's going to be playing for Game 2. And the Pacers lead the series 2-0. People are surprised about this. They won last night 120-119. What a game. That game was, it pretty much ended with a buzzer beater. So
I didn't watch no basketball last night.
Oh, it was good. It was good last night. Morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Good morning. So let's get back into front page news. So Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says traveling without real ID compliant cards will still be permitted for now, but will likely face some more security steps. Noem shared the information while testifying before a House Appropriations Committee on Tuesday. However, she also noted that individuals without proper identification will likely face additional steps before they are permitted to travel, maybe slide to an extra line, an extra step. Like she said, the full enforcement date has been pushed back repeatedly since the law was first passed in 2005, and it was finally slated to take effect today. So let's take a listen to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's comments on real ID compliance.
81% of the travelers that travel by airline in the United States today are already compliant. So they have IDs that already they will be able to use just like they normally always have been. We will be honoring passports, other federally recognized IDs. Tribal IDs will be recognized. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that. And what will happen tomorrow is folks will come through the line and will be issue their ID and show it. If it's not compliant, they may be diverted to a different line, have an extra step, but people will be allowed to fly.
I think they did this too fast. I think, that, and I know what they're saying, that all these people, a high percentage of people have the real ID, but a lot of people have been trying to get the real ID for months now, and DMV has 4 months, 5 months out to get this ID, and it's just going to make things even worse for people.
Yeah,
I will say that it hasn't been taken too fast. Though. They've been telling us to get real ID for a couple of years.
But
now.
it's been you couldn't get it. It wasn't that easy to get. Well, in Jersey,
honestly,
it hasn't been that easy to get.
Honestly, I've just been ignoring it.
No, I've been trying to get it
because for the last couple of years they've been telling us that you're gonna have to get real IDs. Actually, they had announced the date prior. And then they pushed it back.
That's what they were saying. This has been repeatedly pushed back since 2005. So I don't know about
Well,
that's the only reason I never kept getting it because they would always push it back.
And the one thing I don't understand about the real ID is you'll see when you go get the real ID, it's the same exact thing. I guess the identification might itself be different, but all they ask for is the same thing. They want a passport and a social security card, which is the same thing you had to get your regular driver's license and proof of address. That is it. So it's nothing extra on that ID that you need. So I don't understand why you can't just turn in your regular driver's license and get another one, because it's the same information.
I thought it was a star or something.
Yeah, star is on the corner of it. That's the only difference that I've seen from my old one to my new one.
But you still need the same information to get your driver's license. So it's not like it's a different thing.
They're putting a chip inside of it. That's what they don't want to tell us.
Look, Jack, look.
Jess ain't. I don't know if Jess wrong, because I was thinking that too. Because when I had to switch over, because I took forever to switch over my South Carolina ID to my New Jersey ID, and I asked for a real ID, and they told me that was a whole other process. And this was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jess. You might be onto something, because I recently renewed my passport, and I will say it's a lot thicker than it was before.
Right.
Real ID is an enhanced security driver's license that will be needed to board domestic airline flights in lieu of a passport. So right now, she says if you don't have a real ID, or if you're not real ID compliant, you will be still able to travel for now, but they're still urging people to get real ID compliant. Speaking of travel, New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer, he's calling for changes at Newark Airport after the experiencing delays for a 9th straight day, with air traffic control centers across New Jersey, Philadelphia, and now Long Island down 40 staffers for the region. And the congressman is calling on the Trump administration to add more workers to the region, upgrade outdated communication systems. And he also spoke about the economic impact that this is having, that Newark Airport, is a quite the funnel of traffic into the country, or just pretty much, people are traveling and using Newark International. Let's take a listen to those comments from New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer.
But we must immediately surge our investment and fix the technology issues at Newark Airport and our airports around the country. We cannot wait a day longer to get to work to fix the technology issues at Newark Airport. A region where 20% of the nation's GDP runs through, and I'll say it over and over again, talk about just how important of an artery for our country Newark Airport is, right? It's not only critical to our economy, right, but it's critical to air traffic around the United States.
Yeah, so 5 air traffic controllers took trauma leave last week following a communication failure that was a 90-second blackout, which they're saying that, was very, very, it was traumatic for those air traffic controllers, saying that they just didn't know what was going to happen in the 90 seconds during that blackout. And of course, Senator Chuck Schumer is also calling for an investigation into whether these aviation-related incidents are a direct result of DOGE cuts.
It's too much going on, man. That's why people just be getting high and wanting to have a drink, man.
Yes.
Like, God damn. Can we just have a normal life?
No. And wrapping things up
Damn.
with defense. The Supreme Court is allowing President Trump to implement a ban on transgender people serving in the military. Justices granted an emergency request from the White House to get rid of a nationwide injunction that blocked the policy while litigation takes place. All 3 liberal justices dissented. 7 transgender service members had sued to block the order made by Trump. Separately, the U.S. Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C. put a ruling on hold from a judge that also blocked the ban nationwide while it heard arguments and has yet to rule. Now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, he spoke at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa yesterday, saying Trump is delivering on a generational investment to rebuild and redefine the military. And here's what Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had to say.
We are leaving wokeness and weakness behind. No more pronouns, no more climate change obsession, no more emergency vaccine mandates, no more dudes in dresses. Our standards will be high, and in combat formations, they will be gender neutral.
So Hegseth went on to say that if you meet the standards, you can serve, and the goal is to provide troops with the most advanced technology so that American soldiers don't have to face a fair fight. Just real quick, can we just salute the troops and the vets for their service? You know, for sure.
Oh,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Salute all the veterans.
The work that you do. And in the words of Jess Hilarious, let them fight.
Yeah, that is interesting. I would love to talk to some soldiers about that because, you know, a lot of times when you hear a lot of troops talk, they talk about how, you know, when they at war, they just at war.
Yes.
Like, they're not thinking about, you know, well, at least in regards to race. I can't speak to everything else. They just say when they at war, that's my soldier next to me, and that's that. I don't know how it is, you know, when that soldier identifies as something else. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what? And like you said, I would love to talk to the troops as well. Like that was my dad's main thing when he was in the military. He was like when they were fighting, it was all good. It was like it didn't care, race didn't matter. But as soon as they got off that barracks and they went to the restaurant and they wouldn't let my dad in because he was black, them white officers still went in there and ate. So I guess it's a little bit different. So I would love to hear from the troops as well.
All right, y'all, that's your front page news. Follow me on socials at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Thank y'all.
All righty. Thank you, Morgan.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.